Seth is resonating with me more than CM Punk is. I mentioned that on social media last night, and the Punk fans absolutely destroyed me. So let me talk you overview, not specifically about one member in particular, but overview, Bully. What did you think of the war of words between CM Punk and Seth Rollins last night?
The war of words are very much an afterthought to me because of the physicality that happened after the match. So the question that I was asking, see, once I get that physicality after the match, Dave, it's the last thing I saw. It's the emotion that I'm riding, and the words don't really matter to me anymore. If we would not have replayed it, I would not have remembered because nothing stuck out to me. Seth saying you haven't worked any WrestleMania main events. Yeah, okay. That's a zinger that I probably would have remembered. But to me, it was about the physicality afterwards. And I have been asking this question on the show. I've asked myself the question. So now, last night, I put it out there on the old Twitter machine. Lots of people responded. Would love to hear from the nation today also. Did Seth and Punk recapture the animosity, the hatred, the disdain, the vitriol for one another last night? That they had the night CM Punk returned at Survivor Series?
It's a great question. And I don't know if I definitively have an answer to it, Bully, because now you're getting detailed and you're getting chapters to the story. Because what you got at Survivor Series last year was raw emotion, immediate raw emotion, where it blurred the lines of, is this real or is this not real? Like, there's very few moments in pro wrestling that grab you like that moment that went viral after Survivor Series. Because just like we saw with Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes after Saturday night's main event, that's something that happened once they went off the air, and we weren't able to see it until we saw it on social media. So it kind of blurs the lines, and I like the fact that the WWE has been doing that a lot lately over the course of the last year or so. But what I'm seeing now is just, I respect CM Punk, and a lot of people are saying, well, why are you taking Seth Rollins aside? You've done nothing but criticize Seth Rollins over the last couple of years, which is true. But, Bully, it's not about taking sides. It's about resonating with me, emotionally connecting with me, and understanding the point of view where somebody is coming from. There really is for me, there is no point of view from CM Punk. Like, I'm really not getting anything from CM Punk other than the fact that I'm CM Punk. But I just see more of him just being snarky and disrespectful. But with Seth Rollins, and putting all the other stuff aside from the last 2 years, because honestly, with me, Bully, it doesn't matter. It's about what he's saying right now. And go ahead.
You would think that when somebody says to CM Punk, you left this place for 10 years, and I'm the guy that put it on its back, you would think that verbiage, that language, that speak would resonate more with a crowd. Here's what they're not. If that's me, if I'm Seth Rollins, I am commanding the crowd's, I'm not commanding, I'm demanding the crowd's attention. Meaning I would do something like this. Folks, I want to talk to you about something that you've heard over and over and over again, but this time I want you to really think about it. I know you love CM Punk. I know CM Punk has always been one of your favorites. I know CM Punk gives you what you want on the microphone. I know CM Punk gives you what you want in the ring. I know why you like him. I know why you love him. I know why you stick by his side. But please don't forget what he did to us. Not just me, not just you, us, the WWE Universe. He left. And why did he leave? Because he couldn't be in the last match at WrestleMania. He was wrestling The Undertaker, and that wasn't good enough for him. I don't know about you, ladies and gentlemen, but if I was wrestling The Undertaker at WrestleMania, that would be good enough for me. And let me hear you people out there. If you were wrestling The Undertaker at WrestleMania, would that be good enough for you?
See, Bully, what you're saying right now, it connects with me. And you did a great job, almost a master's class last week about delivery. And you talked about the way Seth Rollins is delivering this message is why it may not be resonating with the audience.
He's yelling and screaming about it.
Yes. But I listen, am I a fan of CM Punk? Of course I'm a fan of CM Punk. How could you not be? Look what this guy has given us. But at the same time, I completely understand where Seth Rollins is coming from. And I've said this before, Bully. Doug and I, the Friday before WrestleMania 29, sat down and interviewed CM Punk. So this is right before this big match with The Undertaker. And me and Doug, conducted the interview like, holy shit, man. As a lifelong wrestling fan, you're about to go out there at WrestleMania and wrestle The Undertaker. And it just felt the aura of CM Punk in that moment was like, it wasn't that big of a deal. As a matter of fact, he even kind of was like, you guys do know that this is like predetermined, almost kind of like being snarky to us because we're excited about the fact that CM Punk is about to wrestle The Undertaker at WrestleMania.
Not only is he taking the wind out of your sails because of his lack of energy about wrestling The Undertaker, now he's taking the wind out of your sails when it comes to pro wrestling fandom.
Yeah.
Telling you, hey, listen, you guys know that this is, it's a show, right?
Yeah.
Making you feel stupid. Making you feel small.
Making me feel small.
SML.
And it was right up there with one of the more awkward interviews. I mean, nothing would be more awkward when Doug and I interviewed Dean Ambrose before WrestleMania 31. That's the topper of all top.
What was it? Was it anything like his interview with Steve Austin?
It was exactly like the interview
because that was one of the most awkward things I've ever seen in my life.
We had that same conversation at to the point we didn't even play the interview because it was just awful. But and this was not nearly as bad because at the end of the day, Punk is a great talker, so you get through it. But I understand where Seth is coming from because it's not just about leaving. Everybody leaves from time to time. That's not the issue here. People are unhappy. And when you're unhappy, Bully, like I come from the school of when you leave something, even if you're unhappy, don't burn a bridge because you never know when you might have to go back. And that happens in this industry and every industry. You take the high road, you don't burn a bridge, and you just leave with your chin up and you leave in the best way possible. Punk didn't leave the WWE in the best way. He dropped bombs. He dropped bombs and burned bridges, and he didn't give a shit. I don't think Punk had any intention of ever coming back to the WWE. So he didn't mind throwing bombs until it came time for him to come back. Believe me, Bully, when Punk went to AEW, he wasn't expecting a year and a half later that he would be going to the WWE. I mean, that wasn't his intention when he came in. And look at as he left AEW, he dropped bombs. He didn't mind dropping probably the biggest bomb ever dropped in AEW after he just won the world championship, sitting at a table with the owner and president sitting to his left and the quote unquote wrestling journalist in front of him. And I saw that same guy as he was talking on Monday Night Raw last night. Because what is he doing? He's not throwing out facts. He's throwing out jabs to Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is throwing out facts. So if I'm listening to a war of words, Bully, and one guy is making snide remarks and making jabs about the way he dresses and about his, his entrance theme and everything like that, and the other guy is speaking truths and being honest, I'm siding with the ones who's speaking truth and the guy who's being honest. And in this scenario, Seth Rollins is the one that's being honest.
So I'll ask you the same thing I asked you last week. How come it's not working?
You don't think it's working?
No.
I think it is working.
I don't.
I think it's working.
And last night, if you wanted anything to stick, you would have had to have left it off on Seth's verbiage. Once the physicality starts, everybody forgets. And then it's just even Steven again. The way I delivered the Seth promo, I believe resonated with you a little bit more than the way Seth delivers the promo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because Seth is yelling and screaming about it. And he's trying to convey like anger, frustration, but what he's doing is showing this, he's too emotional about it. If he were to really bring that crowd in and say, let me reason with you for a second. I understand why you like him, but please understand what he did. This is why I don't like him. He affected us all together. And then he comes back and he tells you everything that you want to hear and you're buying into it. And that's fine. I get it. So empathize, sympathize with them, whatever it is. But please, folks, don't forget, CM Punk is the guy that turned his back on all of us. If you do it in that way, now you make people go, wait a minute. He's right. As opposed to, you're the guy that left us. You took your bat and your ball and you went home. Blah, blah, blah. Hey, why are you yelling at this guy? I'm telling you, it's all in the delivery. Now, last night they get into the fight, right? I'm going to go back to the question of, do you think they were able to recapture the animosity and the hatred? What do I see in the physicality between them last night? Do I see the physicality upped a little bit, a more of a spirited fight? Yeah. But you know what I needed to see last night if I really wanted to truly believe? I needed to see a live round connect. Last night's one of those nights where I would have turned to the other guy and said, catch me with one. Or I would have said, you mind if I catch you with one? Because if Seth can pop Punk in the face or vice versa, and I would say in the last night's scenario, it would be about Seth leaving a shiner on Punk. Oof, something went down.
I understand where you're coming from, Bully, and I actually did see some real frustration in the face of CM Punk, which you don't normally see. He usually does it with words and not the expression on his face, though I did see that last night. So that's interesting what you said, and I can't say that I disagree with it because actually, as you're explaining it, especially about the cadence and the way that Seth Rollins is talking, I definitely see where you're coming from.